Good afternoon. My name is Stanley Mautsa. I'm also doing the module here plantations, and what we want to do today, I want to demonstrate air layering on a mulberry tree. This is a mulberry tree that we're going to, this is a peach tree that we're actually going to demonstrate how to do air layering on. So the first thing that will actually show you is that we created our manure. We're going to use manure that we've moistened up. This has been sitting in some water for some about 45 minutes. We really want it to soak up. And then amongst the things that we're going to use some cable ties. We've got cable ties, we've got a dark cloth, and we've got a sharp blade that we use. We've got some plastic, we've got water, and we've got natural honey that's in just this container. And also we're going to use some aspirin as well, some aspirin tablets that we're going to put in the water. Yes. What's also important is that when you're actually going to do your layering, you need to first decide where you're going to do this and really take time, because we don't want to chip off the plant, to chip away at the stem and then leave it for some time exposed, because it will dry up, and this will also reduce our chances of this cutting being successful wherever we want to put it. So we really have to decide on a place where you've got buds that are coming out. At least you've got, so you're supposed to do your cutting just before you're supposed to shear off the bark, just below your bud. And then also that shearing off should also be just by about an inch or so, about 2.5 centimeters. That's what we're going to do. So first we make sure our apparatus and our tools are ready and everything, which they are, and then we go ahead and then we decide on where we're actually going to do the cutting. Right, you can come closer. We've decided that we're going to do the cutting on this plant here as well, on this stem here. So we're going to make sure that we've got our buds. And what actually this air layering actually does is that when you cut away this bark, all the stuff, the nutrients that are coming down the plant, they will actually be stopped by this the gap that will be there with the cambium that has been reduced, that has been removed, and then they'll actually concentrate around that area and then actually start forming roots. And then once that is done, then you cut it off and then you actually plant your tree. So what we'll do is we'll just do our cutting there and first prepare our manure and everything, and then we'll come back to you again. Thank you. Okay, so this is where we've decided to do our cutting here. So we're going to cut from there to there. We've got at least some bud here, and another bud there. So you do this in a very neat and nice way. You can use a razor blade or a very sharp knife. Yeah, it should also be safe when you use your knives and the likes. And once you do that, make sure all the parts of the, also you can just scrape it just a bit. Make sure that all the parts of the cambium where the nutrients flow within the tree are actually removed off there. So maybe you might need to just scrape it a bit like that. Right? Okay. Here we're just removing the excess amount of water. This is cow manure that we decided to make, and we just mix it with just a bit of soya. It's very important because this is where the nutrients for the roots are going to come from when they start shooting from that area. We also use honey. It's a natural stimulant as well for root growth as well. It is also quite important to note that you shouldn't when you choose where to do your cutting, make sure it's not a diseased part of the tree or anything, and then and then also to make sure that your manure is also good and not contaminated by anything. Some other people can use other various techniques to actually sterilize your manure. For example, you can cover it with a hot or with a plastic, a black plastic, and then pour a bit of water. First you pour a bit of water on the manure, just like how you sterilize your soil, so that you make sure those microorganisms die. And then you first put water, and then you put a plastic over on top. And just due to the sun rays there, it heats up that water inside the soil, inside the manure. That's another form of sterilizing. That's a natural way of doing it as well. So once we've actually done this now, we've applied our honey as a stimulant, and then we're also moving fast as well, so that we don't leave that stressed out to dry as well. As we mentioned earlier, we take our soil. This is our manure that we're actually going to use to cover this to cover the place where we're doing our air layering. So first and foremost, we just put it on a piece of plastic here that we're going to use, and make sure that it is it's a bit it's well moistened. It's got enough moisture there. Right? Yeah. Right, so this is how we approach it now. So we're going to cover this whole. Can you pass me your cable ties? The cable ties. We're actually going to put this mix that we have now all around this this area where we want to do our air layering. We make sure that the whole place is covered correctly, and then introduce our cable ties just to hold this thing together. Microphone.
Perfect.
We'll make sure that is holding nicely, and then the next. So here we've attached the cloth, the dark cloth. This is like what we mentioned earlier on, just to make sure that the sun doesn't go all the way. So essentially what it is that we've done here is that we're going to try create a cutting from this part of the plant without necessarily starting from afresh. So this should hold here, and within about a month and a half we should start getting our parts there that we can actually then create another cutting of the same tribe. This is usually best when you want the genetics of this plant. For example, if this is a plant you're really proud of the type of fruits that it produces, you can actually use this for this type of method here. And the other advantages of using this type of method, you're not actually taking from a cutting, you're taking directly from the tree, and you can observe it. One of the things also that you have to be careful about is and hope that it doesn't dry out inside here. So a method that you can use, you can just take a syringe and then just inject inside there and with water, and then you actually get that plant, then you've added some moisture. So we're going to leave this for about a month and a half, and then hopefully, well, not hopefully, but we pray that everything should be in order. Thank you very much. It's quite important when you select a tree that you select a very healthy tree, the one with the genetics that you want. So it's not just you pick any tree or pick any part of the tree. We went through how we actually properly select the type of tree that we want, and then we also make sure that the nodes that are there, we have 2 nodes that were around that area, so that when we cut, when we made our cutting, sorry, not our cutting, but when we made that groove, we ensure that the roots start, because the roots will start from actually from the part. And then then we also have to be careful, like we mentioned, of diseases and things like that, and make sure that it's properly moistened as well. Thank you very much.